me see. Facebook Live, start webinar. So people should start coming in at the moment. All engines running. Yes, there we go. Participants coming in. Hello, good morning and good afternoon from wherever you are from. Another Thursday afternoon here in Johannesburg for us. And for those that have joined us from America, welcome. Once again, you are at the Green Room with Nduku and with Trevor and Lenny. We are excited to talk to you guys about our next topic. Once again, a very unique topic that we are covering, and it's one that should interest a lot of our applicants that have got some sort of entrepreneurship or business mind that wants to maybe pursue that in America. So let me see, quite a few participants in here. Let's see who we got in going here. Bruce Stewart, welcome. Giselle, welcome. Tina's welcome. A couple of regulars. And for those on Facebook that has joined us live there, welcome to you guys as well. All right. So Trevor, maybe we should just kick it off. You want to give us your intro as per normal?
Yeah, absolutely. As Lenny mentioned, we're excited to have you with us again today, and we're very excited to announce to you and introduce to you our wonderful panelists today. But I'll leave that for just now. So, 26th of November, very, very fast-paced into December and the end of 2020. But as I say, it's very nice to be with you. Just a little bit of a heads up. Obviously, we're going to be stopping the webinars into the December period, just going into the Christmas time. But there will obviously be reruns, and we'll do a couple of things just during that period if you're wanting to catch up on some of the webinars that we have had. If you're wondering what we are and what we do, this is Trevor and my business partner, Lenny de Villiers, and we have got a great company called the Nduku Group, and we help people get to America. So if it is your dream and you would like to get to America and live that dream, you need to contact somebody in the Nduku Group, and anyone in the team or Lenny or myself would be happy to guide you, show you, give you the tools and help you to make those decisions and see that if it's for you and your family to get across there, and not just get across there, but also then have a successful immigration. And that's our heart. So if you would like to live your dream, get to America, we can assist you on what we call an employment-based green card permanent residency. It's obviously on the back of having a position in America. And also we have an E2 option for those of you that have got European passports. Then you can do an investment visa to get to the States. And we have also got a couple of new and exciting options coming through into the new year, which we will share with you as time goes on. Len, maybe you want to just give us a brief intro in terms of what the Green Room is again, and then we can introduce Amel to everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Trevor. Okay, so the Green Room, for those of you that do know, I'm sorry if you hear it every week, but it's for those people that we need to remind or that don't know, is that the Green Room is a wonderful space that we created from lockdown, is just to how do we connect on an ongoing basis with our applicants, and how do we get a bit of a footprint out and guide people into an immigration space. So as we always said, the hardest decision you have to make is to get to your yes. Yes, we're immigrating to X, Y, and Z, maybe New Zealand, Panama, wherever you're going to go. So there's a couple of things that you would need to follow to immigrate. So there's a couple of things, the documentation that you would need. When do I pack up my house? You know, how do I guide my kids to psychologically about an immigration space? These are the topics that we've covered in our Green Room webinars. You know, so we've done over 40 of these things. So please, we do invite you to have a look at our Facebook pages. We've got all the links on there, and we've got a YouTube channel as well, where you can go and see the previous recorded webinars. And like today, I mean, we got people from all over the world and expertise in their field about how to help expats in situations when they get into a new country. Is that, how does this work? You know, instead of going into the country, before you go into the country, this is the research we're doing for you. And we're saying, get in contact with this person. They can help you if this is something that you want to do. And why we decided to get this panelist on board is because we do have a lot of entrepreneurs and businessmen in this in our program, and ongoing forward, people we have got women that are also wanting to open their own business, and going into a new country that could be very, very tough because policies and stuff are it's different, processes are different, and where do you start is always the thing. So it delays sometimes your process. We also ask our people that are in our program and that are not in our program if there is a topic that you would want us to cover for you. So we've had topics where someone says to us, listen, can I take my guns overseas? This is a typical South African scenario. So we did the research on that, and we got a person to do that for us. He spoke to people into their comfort zones. He said, listen, take this gun, don't take that gun. You'll get lots of guns in America, don't worry. Or to a topic that someone gave us last week, said, listen, because we covered the medical part of the process going to America, can we cover what it's going to be like at the consulate? Just give us a guide of, because I can imagine people are so nervous sitting in front of this commissioner. Your whole life is in front of this one person. It depends on if he had bad breakfast, he might not give him my green card. So those are the topics that we will do research on, and we will cover those ones next year once again. But today we are excited. We have got a panelist called Amel Derragui. Anya, she is in New York. We did speak beforehand that her bio that Tambu wrote up for us is as long as all our arms together. And I'm gonna allow her to speak for herself once again. As I said in the previous thing, it works quite well, and you guys can hear her voice instead of mine. And Mel, welcome.
Thank you so much, Lenny and Trevor, and thank you for this opportunity to get to meet with you and your wonderful listeners. So yes, my name is Amel. To make it short, I'm Algerian, born in India, living in New York, married to an Austrian. So I define myself as a global nomad. I've been raised on the move and live on the move. I hope I will one day get to settle down somewhere, but I'm also very much enjoying this journey. So this is the private side of it. So I live in New York with my husband, and I've been running my own business for the past 10 years. I basically started my entrepreneurial journey when I quit my job in France, and my career in France in the advertising industry, to go abroad with my husband for his job. So it's his job who takes him now on the move. And in order to keep up with my own career, the only solution was to build my own business. So I started in consulting. I've been consulting corporate companies in marketing and branding. And then down the road, I've been meeting a lot of women in my situation who had to give up their careers to take care of their families and live on the move for their partner's jobs. Thankfully, there's more and more men as well, and also homosexual couples doing that as well. So that's the good sign. However, this life is not, it's very exciting to move once. And it's an amazing opportunity. But once we do this on a life base, it becomes a reality to think about. And I think you were very much involved in this, is having, thinking about all the legal aspects, thinking about all the repercussions on our life for the long term, our financial independence, but also financial security and safety net. All these things are very important topics. And this population of partners become very vulnerable when they don't think about these details. So that's when I started a podcast to talk about this, and slowly the podcast took off, and I have been very blessed to be able to quit my other job, my other business, close it up, and focus on developing the podcast show and the services around it that's called Tandem Nomads. So today, basically, I provide business and marketing coaching and online courses as well to help global nomads build portable businesses that are location independent. They're not digital nomads. The people I serve are actually digital nomads, are people who have a base somewhere and then just go travel for short terms. In my case, I really help people who have to move their whole lives from a country to another and create that sustainable source of revenue with their businesses in order to be able to thrive.
Sure. That's amazing. Thank you, Amel. And once again, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Celebrating two things today. So happy Thanksgiving, firstly.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to all the people who are watching and celebrate it as well.
Yeah, it's always a wonderful time of the year in America, and I'm sure it's I don't know. I mean, can I ask you quickly, how's it going, and what's the atmosphere like, even amongst this crazy pandemic? How's the mood in America over this big holiday?
Yeah, so the mood is there's a big difference between New York and the US in general. And also, America is a big country, so it's hard to summarize the mood for a whole country because it's so diverse. But still, on the US based, to be honest with you, there's the pandemic is hitting hard, is hitting very, very hard. We are the highest peak on a nation base. So I'm really thinking about all those who are affected by this, and my heart goes out to them because it must really not be easy. But on the other side, there's Thanksgiving, and people are really really willing to see their families. So I'm thinking of those who can't see their families, and there's those who are trying to do all the precautions they can to still meet. It's the highest season of travels, and it continues to be even during pandemic. So that's one of the concerns that everybody's having right now. We're all waiting to see what's going to be the post-Thanksgiving situation, because we don't know how much is that going to affect the numbers in terms of infections. That's the biggest topic right now, on top of obviously the elections and the transition. That's a very unique situation. So those are the two big topics nationwide. And but overall, I love the Americans' mindset. They're very positive people and very resilient. In whatever you throw at them, they'll figure it out. So that's what I love about America. New York overall is doing pretty well, but we're very careful, very careful.
No, listen, and we share your sentiments as well. We feel for those people and at this time of year as well. But it is a great, lots to be grateful for amongst all of this. So the other thing, obviously, that we want to celebrate with you, I mean, the 5th year anniversary in terms of your company, Tandem Nomads. Talk us a little bit through that journey.
Yeah, it's been 5 years since I launched the first episode of Tandem Nomads. So it was not a business at the beginning, it was a bit of a side gig of my business, and I just had a big message to share. I was very passionate about empowering expat partners, and since then it's been what an amazing journey. So so thank you so much for your kind wishes.
Yeah, cool. So Amel, exactly, let's just to break down the Tandem Nomads a little bit. So what services do you guys exactly offer? And in hindsight, if someone had to listen to this webinar, if you had to transfer something to them, lessons to building a business in a foreign country, what can they walk away with?
So the big difference in what I do compared to most business coaches who will help you, is I make a big difference between, first of all, online business and local business. My specialty is really about how to build a business that's portable and that does not only depend on where you live. Because we know that usually once we live, first of all, it's not that easy to find a job. If some of your clients, for example, are moving to the US and their partner doesn't have a job, that they might move. The reason for them to move to the US is probably because they found a job, but the whole family is moving and the partner as well. And it's not that easy to find a job for the two people. And this is why I call it Tandem Nomads, by the way. That's basically the main reason why I started this. Although today my clients are people who are just interested in having the flexibility. More and more families are global now, live across borders. And especially now with the pandemic and even before, we want to be able to pack our stuff and go. And be able to go visit family, to take care of our loved ones, without having the impact on our salaries and our jobs. And the portable business is the best way to do it, to have that kind of lifestyle that allows us the flexibility to run our lives the way we want it, in a way. So that's basically and having that flexibility. Also the flexibility to work from home. Although now everybody's doing that, but there was a time where I remember the biggest thing was about also being able to take care of the kids and stay at home, but still generate revenue, create a successful business and thrive. And also have a sense of fulfillment. That's also important. Doing something we love is very important as well. So basically, that's basically my specialty, where I help my clients, the portability, how to make a business model portable. And I also have, I mean, obviously it goes with a lot of marketing and business strategies. I teach them, I consult, and I coach as well. So I do have a lot of one-on-one coaching, but as well as online courses. And there's 3 levels inside the Tandem Nomads Academy. The first one is I'm looking for a business idea, but I don't know what to do. That's called the Business Idea Accelerator. Then comes the second level, which is I have a business idea, but I don't know where to start, or I have a business already, but it's not generating consistent revenue. And those are basically, that's where I bring in the Portable Business Accelerator, which is my program that teaches from A to Z every single step to take to build a successful portable business, in terms of marketing and in terms as well of mindset and some of the things to know about the entrepreneurial journey and what makes a business portable. And then comes the Business Growth Accelerator, and this is more the one-to-one aspect that I do now. It might be converting to something new now. The next year, there's some things in the back end that are brewing, but this is really designed for those who already have a business, who are already making revenue and want to take it to the next level. And this is where actually my past ties into what I do now. It's basically consulting at consulting companies in fixing the issues they have in their business, or simply taking it to the next level.
Okay. Is it packages that you sell, and it's everything's based purely on online? So nothing is consulting with you via Zoom or anything like that? No.
Oh, yes, I do a lot of one-on-one as well. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So if I may, let's just, for all of our people that are going to be listening and watching later, let's define portable business, if you don't mind. And then obviously having a portable business, how do we ensure the continuity of that moving from South Africa to America, for example?
I love that question. Thank you for asking that question. So portable business, a lot of people, you would think of portable business as an online business. So I always say an online business, a portable business is an online business, but an online business is not necessarily a portable business. So a portable business is a business that will allow you that is completely location independent, and that allows you to generate revenue on a consistent base, and that allows you to continue your business even during a transition, so that there's no interruption. And I'm going to give you an example that's very simple to help a little bit understand this. Well, the second thing as well is to know that a portable skill is not necessarily a portable business. So if we can do something anywhere in the world, it doesn't mean that it's portable, for the simple reason that you want to generate revenue that's consistent, right? So the typical example that I always give that's easy to grasp is if we're a yoga teacher. If you're a yoga teacher, you can teach yoga from anywhere, right? And when you do it as on your own, it is a business, right? You have to think about it as a business. Sure. The thing about yoga teachers is that they have to develop a network, they have to find their first clients, and then the word of mouth starts working. And then the more you do it, the more your clientele base can grow. But then if you move the country, then suddenly you have to start from scratch. So there is a big dip in the revenue during that transition period and the time to rebuild that business. And this is basically what I want to avoid through a portable business. So the solution, even if as a yoga teacher, is to build a set of revenue stream that allows to have that continuity. Today, it's much easier for me to convince that it's possible to do yoga class on Zoom. There's other things as well we can do to develop a series of revenue streams. They're not location dependent. For example, like I said, we could do live Zoom classes, but also a yoga teacher could develop affiliate partnerships to sell derived products, mats, essential oils, to create revenue online without having to, be present. It's also passive income that allows to make revenue without it depending on your time. Uh, we could develop an app to with online lessons as well, things like that. So there's a lot of ways nowadays, thanks to technology, that allow to build a portable business and a revenue stream that does not depend on our time and our physical presence, basically. One thing that I said before is also differentiation between online business and portable business. Having an e-commerce, for example, if we have a business where we produce products and sell them online, it's not necessarily a portable business because, first of all, if we're producing them, we'll need the facility to produce them, and that's not necessarily portable. Also, the logistic management of the logistics, the warehouse, the things like that are not portable. So, or we can make it portable by having a team. That's another way to do it as well, having people who do it for you. But the great thing nowadays is that you have, again, great technologies and solutions such as drop shipping. I don't know if you ever heard of the word drop shipping. So it's a concept that companies now are actually taking care of the whole logistics for you. All you have to do is to do the marketing and send the traffic to your website, and the drop shipping companies will take care of everything. So you have a lot of companies like Shopify who provide that kind of solution. So nowadays we live in the best times to be able to run a portable business, and that's for me. I've been doing this for the past 10 years. When I started, I had to figure it out all on my own, and most of the tools did not exist. Today, not only we have the tools, but the upside of the pandemic is that more and more people are okay with consuming some of the unusual services online. So that's basically it's. I hope this was clear. Let me know if there's anything else. Yeah.
Nice.
We got the tools, and we got coaches like you available for people to guide them.
Thank
so,
you.
Amel, so just on the back of that, so obviously the program that we've got, we get people into America on a permanent basis with a green card. So in the past, you have discouraged entrepreneurs from niching down and only building a business served in a very specific and local market. So the rationale around that is that what expats make the mistake is they commonly go and they want to do obviously grow their business for this city and the same business for that city and this city. Just talk us about the rationale and your thesis for that.
Yeah, this is great. So I do recommend very highly to focus on a niche. I mean, it's very important to focus on a niche, but it should not be a geographical niche. Right. So that's a little bit different. So when we talk about niche, I'm talking about target audience. I'm talking about what type of people are we serving. And for example, when I started Tandem Nomads, my niche was very small and specific. It was the expat spouses of expats, not even immigrants, expats who are moving every 2 to 3 years. And this is the best way to actually have an impact very quickly in a business, is to have a very, very tight and small and specific definition of the target audience so that we can make a faster impact. And as this expression says, if you try to resonate with everybody, you will resonate with nobody. Unless you have a lot of money to invest in big ads and burst all over the world, if you try to disperse your marketing effort to reach your audience, you will not be able to do it if you don't focus on a niche. So I do think that it's very important to, the problem with most clients that come to me, they feel very hesitant to do that just because they have the thing they're leaving money on the table when they do that. It's actually the opposite. We're wasting and losing money when we don't focus on a niche. So that's very important. However, I do discourage very highly to focus on a local market and make the whole strategy very local, because here's the thing, we never know what will happen, and at some point we might need to pack our stuff and go. And if we have to do that, it's the same as leaving a job. We have to start from scratch again, and all that. It's even worse than leaving a job behind, because we've put so much sweat and equity into developing this business, and then we have to leave it behind unless we find somebody who's willing to buy it, which is not that easy either. It would be very hard. So nowadays it's very possible, as long as you have a very good definition of who's that ideal client, not in terms of country, but but in terms of persona, in terms of needs, in terms of problems to solve, in terms of pain points, that is that will go a much longer way than they're focusing on the geographical base.
Very good. Mal, so you've got a 60-40 rule.
Yeah, I do have
Talk to
that
us a little bit about that.
So yeah, this is a rule that I had to come up with because I had so many objections and hesitations and questions with my clients about, oh, but what if my business, I can't make it portable? For example, I have a client who's an interior designer, or we have businesses that are very much based on something tangible and physical. And so there's questions like, first of all, how can I make this? I'm an interior designer. How can I make this portable? And it's like, I have to be in people's houses, right? So that's the first objection that I had to come up with this. The second one is also, I actually want to have clients locally. I actually want to be present, and I want to have that one-on-one face-to-face interaction, right? So, and I am all for it. So this is why my mission is to help people to build a revenue that's sustainable along the move, and that allows to go through transition without too much disruption. But it doesn't mean that we can't have a local business either. So that's why I came up with the 60-40 rule to help people, strategize with their revenue streams and business model. I always say, let's make sure that at least 60% of your revenue is portable, and then the other 40% more local and physical. So, and ideally, that's basically the ratio if you don't make it 100% portable. In some cases, it's the opposite. It's the person is really willing. For example, I have people who are more immigrants than expats, right? They actually moved in a country and are settled, that they just want to have a joker, a extra source of income, just in case. So in that case, I would flip it and say, listen, make your business 60% local, and then create 40% revenue streams that allow you to at least have a cushion in case you need to transition, or just want to retire and enjoy the fruits of your labor and have something a bit more easier to manage. But yeah, so that's basically where this comes from.
Yeah,
Great rule.
It's all about perspective, so you can just put some perspective in the 60-40 and many things that you actually take on, and it'll start making sense. So obviously, for our people that are immigrating as well, so they are going into a new culture. People that are used to business over here will know that you get to know how the system works once you start becoming an entrepreneur. And what is the encouraging thing from your side, as you mentioned it, that you do encourage people to pursue that, but it doesn't come without its challenges, so you're not sugarcoating things for people. So listen, come to America. It's a land of opportunity. You're going to be a success, and you're going to be, in the top 10 of the Forbes richest people. There are challenges, and it takes a long, long time for people to get into a space where they know, okay, listen, there is something happening here. So I don't know if maybe that success looks different in South African space or wherever they're immigrating from. What does success look like? What should the people be looking for as they are actually making it in America?
So obviously, when we talk about success in America, these two words make us think of the American dream, right? Everybody comes to America for the American dream. And honestly, when you live in the US, this is a very present concept, not just with foreigners, but with Americans. So it's part of the DNA of America. And I do think that America is the land of opportunities. And not just because of the market and the size of the market, not just because of the fact that the regulations make it easier, probably. Although once you become bigger, there's of course a whole set of things to consider as well, but also because of the mindset. And this is what made me fall with them in love with the America and the US, is the mindset to go and actually, I have a quote that I end every single episode in my podcast, is turning challenges into opportunities. That's something that I truly believe in. My first experience in the US was when I was in my 20s. I was sent to Utah to sell encyclopedias door to door. And, that hustling culture, I was in it. And that's what I've identified with in the US. Like, I'm ready to do anything to get to where I want to be, even to sell books door to door in the middle of the desert of Utah. So it's just a beautiful this is why I say whatever you throw at this country, the Americans will always have a positive outlook, even through hardship. The second thing that I love about America is the sense of community. Um, it's it might not look like it from outside. You would think that America is a very individualistic society. On a macroeconomic level, it is. Like when we talk about tax policies, economical policies, and when we talk about socialism and things like that, a word that scares off the politicians in the US. It's a very individualistic society, but in terms of culture, it's a very community-based society, and neighbors are very important. Even in a city like New York, it's not at the same level as the rest of the country where it's smaller size. The neighbors are important. You take care of your neighbors, and that's also something that I love very much about the US. So whoever comes here, I would love you to just pay attention to those things, because those two things will help you integrate much easier in the United States if you have that mentality and that culture of community. One thing I struggled with when I came to the US a little bit was this whole thing about it is about, if you never complain, by the way. The positivity, don't confuse positivity with being solution oriented, right? And that's another thing that I want to call. It's like turning challenges into opportunities is about looking at the problem and finding a way to turn it in, just to solve it. And that's for me what entrepreneurship is about. And this is why I think the whole country is an entrepreneurial country. No matter what you do, even if you're an employee, the mindset of solving problems is really important here. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to look at that spirit and understand that if you have a nature of solving problems, that will take you a long way. If you have an outlook on life, it's always about turning challenges into opportunities, it will take you a long way. So that's basically my input about the United States, specifically related to entrepreneurship. But as you said, Lenny, it's not going to happen from a day to another. A lot of people are here for years and still didn't break through. But this is why I think it's important to know why you're doing what you're doing, and not look this as, okay, how can I make quick money? This will never go anywhere. So every client that I work with are very, very, very attached to their mission statement as a company and as a business. That's the only thing that will get you a long way. And also making sure that we enjoy the ride. Being present in the moment and enjoying the ride. It's not just about that, becoming that billionaire. It's about making an impact for our clients and making the best of this journey and growing as people along the way. I think that's really important.
So, Amel, such great insights and input. So, thank you for that. I want to say to you that we got a lot of entrepreneurs in this program with us, and Lenny and I are entrepreneurs, and I think that what happens is more often than not, you sort of know that you can make it in South Africa because you are used to the different challenges, the different things. Do you know what I'm saying? So you look at the innovative factors and that sort of stuff. People are sometimes apprehensive or anxious, is perhaps the word. Can I make that work in America? Yes, I've been able to do it in South Africa. Can I do it in America? What do you normally say to people when they're talking to you about that? I mean, your whole business model is around that. And we'll talk to how they can get hold of you later. But maybe just a little bit of a snippet. Can we make it work in America?
So the first answer that I want to say is you can make it work, anything you want to make work, okay? But that's not going to help, right? So that's not very realistic. I have a very pragmatic approach to this question. I don't believe in packing our stuff and going and just trying it out. I think it's important to be very structured in preparation of this move if you decide to move, and you're here to help, right? As well, so the same way you're helping people prepare their moves in terms of visas and things like that, administrative things, is the same with a business. If you decide to move here to start a business, then you need to prepare that beforehand by doing a market research, by talking to people in the industry where you want to launch your business. Spend at least 6 months doing extensive market research from South Africa and create the network from South Africa in the US before you move here, so that when you move here, you already have the information you need, the network you need, and the market intelligence you need to have and even get started before you come here, right? Because that is a big risky move, right? To do
Yeah.
that without preparation. So
Yeah.
I think it's really important. A lot of people skip that. I'm very surprised that it still happens. That the majority of people I know will just move here. They will literally take. It's like the American dream story. I took my suitcase and $10 in my pocket and went to the U.S. Okay, it's wonderful, it's fantastic, but today we live in a great times where you don't have to
Yeah.
do that. At that time, we didn't have internet, we didn't have
Sure.
connections, we didn't have online networks. Today, you have everything you need to start preparing before you come here. So you don't have to risk your family financials, and also have the best landing zone possible before you come.
Very good. So I think, Amel, we've got your first client, Janetta Silva. She says, "Hi, Amel. We own and run daycares. Would you have a course to assist us to run our business and grow it from the US when our daycares are in South Africa? Ways to market and manage the team from abroad. Would you have training for us to keep our fingers on the team as well as grow this business?"
So this is a great question, Jeanette. My specialty is really on portable businesses, so I'm not really good with everything related to like brick and mortar business. But I'm happy to connect with you and see if there's any people I know who could help you for this specific business. Feel free to reach out. So yeah, the email is connect@tandemnomads.com.
Okay.
Good. Is that the best way that our listeners and people in our program can connect with you, Amel? Is that
Yes.
just via that email?
Yeah. And you can go to the website as well, tandemnomads.com. And there you have a
Right.
few free resources as well. I have a lot of free resources. I encourage you to listen to the podcast. That's like every week I have a new episode with some marketing tips and as well, inspiration on this entrepreneurial journey to make the best of it. I also have a free guidebook, especially on how to build a portable business. So you'll go to the menu and you'll see free resources, and then you'll be able to download my guidebook. You can also sign up when you do that to my newsletter, and I do share every week some insights as well on how to make the best of this journey and build a successful portable business. So that's basically also another place. So tandemnomads.com if you want to have more information, and if you have a specific question, like Jeanette, connect@tandemnomads.com.
Good. Excellent. I mean, and Amel, I think you shortchanged yourself a little bit on your bio. So I just wanted to add to that a little bit, just to say to the guys, she has featured in media such as Forbes magazine, Global Living magazine, and she's done workshops for organizations like United Nations, IMF, World Bank, and multiple other companies. So just to add to that and to your credits and stuff like that.
Thank you.
But Mel, from my side, it's been an absolute blessing to have you on. I think you've given Trevor and I also a lot of things, because we obviously got a lot to think about once we go, what, how, and who we're going to contact and what we're going to try and do when we're in that side. Is obviously not to leave it with the $10 in the pocket scenario, but maybe listen to one or two of your podcasts before we come.
Please don't hesitate to reach out. I will more than be happy than to help any way I can, and maybe even meet you in person. That would be very much fun.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely put that into play. Amel, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for taking the time out to be with us. We look forward to going on to all of the platforms that you have, and we'll go and do a bit of homework outside. And yes, absolutely. When that side in New York, we'll come and visit you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody. And I look forward to staying in touch.
Thanks.
Thanks very much, Mel. All the best, guys. Chat next week.
Bye-bye.